A recent report from the Wall Street Journal declared Austin's reign as a tech hub may be coming to an end, citing tech layoffs and return to office mandates that they say are sending workers back to cities like San Francisco and New York. But local business leaders say that is not exactly the case. Ed Latson, CEO of Opportunity Austin, is here. Ed, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You know, initial reaction to this report from the Wall Street Journal from you is what?
Well, I think we looked at it and we thought it was clickbait. The information we see is a really strong economy with a lot of resilience, and we're excited about what's happening here.
But to some degree, you have to look at some of the stuff that was said in the article that folks say we are seeing a slight decrease in the number of jobs that are coming here, people that are starting to move back. I mean, are you seeing those numbers, or do you feel like the numbers are relatively small?
Well, we think they're pretty small. So the data was based on some research done by a venture capital firm in San Francisco, and it showed decline across all major markets. For instance, tech jobs decreased by 1% here in Austin, and they decreased by a pretty close similar amount in San Francisco and in other large markets. But our GDP growth and the job creation over the last 5 years has been so strong that we feel like we've been going about 120 miles an hour on a highway, and we've slowed down to about 75. And people are thinking we're going slow, but actually this is a really strong and robust economy.
You know, I do want to ask you about some of the things that were cited when they talked to people who were moving, because some people did move back, right, from Austin to San Francisco. Some of them said, it was just too slow in Austin. There wasn't a lot of diversity. There weren't a lot of great meetups. They kind of cited the culture as being problematic. Talk to me about that.
Well, I think it's pretty anecdotal, but when you look at the retention of the population in the city, you see a lot of people that are really happy to be here. Between 2018 and 23, we added more population than any other large metropolitan area in the country. And those people are staying, as we all know, when we drive around and see the construction and the traffic and people downtown having a good time and the people at the festivals. People like to be in Austin, Texas, and you feel it in the business community too. It's thriving and growing. There's lots of companies here that are expanding, especially in our tech sector, which is what the article was really concentrating on, which brought a lot of mystery to us because we see companies like Apple and Samsung and Microsoft and Google growing and expanding here and adding jobs. So we feel like it's really healthy and strong.
You said something that was something else that was mentioned in the article. You talk about people see the traffic. Well, they noted that the infrastructure, the lack of accessibility to public transportation was another kind of hiccup, something that people took issue with. Do you think the city could be doing more, city leaders could be doing more to attract more people to Austin?
Well, I think what I see is a lot of investment that's happening in our infrastructure. There's over $25 billion in projects underway right now that are addressing exactly that concern. And I would also put a wager against anybody on the coast, San Francisco or New York. If you want to take a drive across your city and I'll take a drive across mine, I think we're going to get to our destination first. You can still move around this area pretty effectively, especially at the right times of day. And I think our city officials and organizations like Opportunity Austin are advocating for the right investments to help address that concern.
Obviously we did see some, you mentioned the big numbers between 18 and 23, but we have seen layoffs here recently, right? In the tech sector, we did see, some companies deciding to leave Texas. What do you see as the future of tech in Austin?
Yeah, I think the future of tech in Austin is really strong. And there have been news reports about different layoffs here and there, but our unemployment rate has stayed steady. It's been at 3.5% or 3.4%. So we're not losing net jobs. And if you look at the companies that are invested here and growing here, they're really at the forefront of this new economy that's emerging around technology. And I think that positions us really well for success. And the data bears that out.
Right. Ed Latson with Opportunity Austin, we thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.